This is the first video on Snap. I'm sure we'll have many more as we go through this semester. This is the first one on just getting you started on Snap. When you log into MyMTI, on the left-hand side of the screen, you will see Snap. When you hover over it, you can click on it, and it will take you to a screen like this. However, until you've actually activated your Snap and downloaded the Snap Player, it may not look like this. Remember, under coursework, one of your first assignments is getting familiar with Snap and uploading a file. When I click on that, there is a Word document that will show me how I go about doing that. The Word document looks like this. It's going to first have a link where you're going to go and download the Snap Player. These are the instructions for downloading the player. So you'll read through these, go through that. Once you are done with downloading the player, you will get a box where you need to enter in your SNAP activation code. The activation codes come with the textbook, or if you have an ebook, it should have been emailed to you. If you're not sure where to find that activation code, please give me a call or send me an email, and I can help you through that process. Once you're all activated and ready to go, when you click on Snap, the very first thing you're going to see is ebooks. Even if you are not using the ebook, you need to go to the Benchmark Series Office 2016 to get the data files. So when I click on the ebook, it's going to look like this. I clicked on the table of contents, and the very top thing is student data files. You'll need to go in and download those to get the student data files. Once you have the student data files, if you're not using the ebook, you really don't need to go to this link again unless you decide to use a little bit of the ebook and a little bit of the hard book. If you are using the ebook, I highly recommend you using a tablet or an iPad or a dual monitor to see the book while you are working through the assignments. It'd make it a little bit easier. After you've gone through and you've got your files, you've got your lessons. Each chapter has 2 lessons. When I click on the lessons, what you're going to see is a guide and a practice. I'm not going to open them. They're pretty self-explanatory. They are not graded. You do not have to do these. Some of you will choose to do the ones that you're not sure about or you've struggled with. Most of you probably know how to open a blank document, so you can probably skip over that one. If you don't, go through and practice it. These are to help you, but if you already know it, I don't expect you to waste your time doing them. They're just another resource. So there's 2 lessons for each chapter. And then after the 2 lessons, there's the assessments. And the assessments are what we actually grade. So for instance, we are on chapter 1. We have the concepts exam. The concepts exams is more or less a multiple choice or a true-false quiz. Do not let the word exam scare you. It's only worth 10 points. Not quite an exam. Click on preview, and then I'd be able to choose. I choose the answer, I choose next, and then I go to the next one. That's all it is. I am going to just skip out of that. Not going to do all 10. Then we have the chapter 1 skills check. When I click on the skills check, and then again I have preview, these open up as if you are in Word. So it'll tell me I can either launch it or it's going to launch in 2 seconds now. So I'll just be patient. And then down at the bottom on the left-hand side. Now, if yours does not launch and it's saying there's an error, you might have to you might have the pop-up blocker over here and allow for this to show on your screen. So if you have an X up here, which I did in the beginning, you need to click on it and allow for this pop-up. So I'm going to click, and now you can see the Snap Players opening. And it's telling me that it's closing the Office application, which is fine, because I had things minimized. Tells me I've got 3 remaining attempts. We've got 10 skills that we're working on. And the skills concept checked is worth 20 points. So for instance, here's the question. Correct the grammar error by, B-Y-E, that appears in the first sentence below the Alpine Adventure heading. Ignore all other spelling errors. Do not use the keyboard. So it doesn't want me just to go ahead and just retype it. It wants me to, I'm going to change it by, I chose to right click. You could have, there's other ways you could have done it, but didn't want you to retype it. Going to the next one. Delete the letter N in the navigator. Undo and then redo the action using the undo redo. So it wants me to delete the N, and then it wanted me to undo it and redo it. I could check my answer, check an answer, and it's correct. And then I could go to my next one. Go through all 10. If you're not happy with your score, there are other attempts, and you could go ahead, and there's 3 attempts. It will give me the best grade. So if you only got 3 points out of or 6 points out of the 20, I would highly recommend you redoing this assignment. I'm going to close out of it for time purposes. Going back to Snap, and I am going to show you the project. Projects are only worth 5 points. I'm going to click Preview. New attempt. It's going to launch in 4 seconds. Complete a spelling and grammar check on the document. The proper name, Anderson, is spelled correctly. So it's telling you that the name is spelled correctly. So I'm just going to do a spelling and grammar check. I'm going to ignore all of the name because it said it's spelled correctly. Enclosed was not spelled correctly. This should be recommend. Employees, missing. Heard of it. Portuguese. And our, it's a duplicate, so I'm going to delete it. Go to the next one, and tells me to delete the name Ingrid from the salutation. I am not going to keep going and doing these, but you get this. You get the concept of this. I'm going to close it. Now, how the grades actually come on, I don't know yet until this is my first time around with Snap too. So again, we might have some adjustments, but right now I'm assuming I will just go in here, get the grades, and then under coursework for chapter 1, once it's opened, I would go in and put your points in. But we'll just kind of have to play that by ear and see how things work. For now, I'm going to sign off with this video on Introduction to Snap.